Hey, it's Mike, and welcome to the morning market update. It is now 5:12 a.m. So the pre-markets pretty much opened a little over an hour ago. The pre-markets did open well on the positive side, but since then they've kind of pulled back. So you're kind of flat right now on the S&P 500. You go ahead and look at the Nasdaq right now. It is actually up almost 1%. So Nasdaq is doing really well. We'll go ahead and take a look at the Russell's up almost 0.5%. So you have a flat S&P 500. The Nasdaq's recovering well, and the Russell 2000 is up about 0.5% right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin because Bitcoin rose as high as 59,000, but it did pull back a little bit. It has moved up, it looks like, in the past couple of minutes, so it's now at 58,500. The 10-year note did move down below 174, so it's now sitting at 169, so that's a pretty good sign. If you follow what happened yesterday, the market seemed to have crashed really in the last hour because there was a bill introduced in the Senate by the Democrats to have a financial transaction tax, and the financial transaction tax was going to place a 0.1% tax on all financial transactions. And you can imagine if you're a hedge fund or if you're a high frequency trader, what that would do to your trades. Now, the thing that I told people is that you should not worry about um, this bill for financial transactions because one is the Senate Democrats only have, like, it's a 50-50 Senate, which means you would need to have every Democratic senator vote for the bill, plus you would have to have Vice President Kamala Harris place the tie-breaking vote. And you have a couple of pretty conservative Democratic senators like Manchin and Sinema who probably will not vote for this tax. And you probably have other sort of liberal Senate Democrats who are funded by Wall Street who are not going to impose this sort of tax. So this tax is never going to be signed. And even if it somehow magically passes the Senate and Congress, Biden will most likely veto it because he also received a lot of funding from Wall Street. So this bill was pretty much DOA, but people freaked out. And I think we have a lot of new investors, and a lot of these new investors, they're going to overreact and freak out to this news. So that's why you had the fall. So I think it's a good time to actually do some dip buying here, especially since, remember, we had the Fed come out and say that they're not just holding interest rates near zero, but they're probably going to hold them near zero till 2023. That means we're going to have an inflationary environment, which means a lot of stocks are going to go up, especially commodity stocks. So I would do some a little bit of buying right now. What I would look at buying is obviously inflationary plays, silver, which is up almost 1% in the pre-market right now. This is the silver ETF. You look at gold, gold is up 0.5% in the pre-market right now. You look at a big gold miner like Barrick Gold right now, it's up 0.5%, up over 1%. I would also look at the Bitcoin miners. We could go ahead and look at Marathon Digital Assets. It's up 5% in the pre-market right now. Go ahead and look at Riot Blockchain. Riot Blockchain is up 4.5%. You look at Canaan Creative. They make the Bitcoin mining machines. They tend to move pretty well. They're up almost 3%. So I would look at that. Also, I have my video coming out on Alcoa. I would look at stock companies that produce commodities. I mean, you look at Alcoa right now in the pre-market, it's up almost 2.5%. I mentioned this in the video. You'd be surprised to know Alcoa was a stock that was sitting at $5. It's now up to $31. This is a 600% move from a very traditional old school company. I would also look at U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel was up almost 3% yesterday. It's up 1.68%. So I'd look at a lot of the commodity stocks, the mining stocks, companies that are involved in the manufacturing of commodities. So U.S. Steel with steel, Alcoa with aluminum. I'm sure if you do some digging, you'll find even more stocks. But that's what I would be dip buying right now. You may also want to look at the more conservative dividend-paying stocks. I mentioned Altria a couple of days ago, and it's doing really well. You look over the past month, this stock has been performing really well. Not only that, you get a dividend yield of 6.8%. Right now, I would just shift away from a lot of the growth stocks or the more startups sort of companies because they're going to be dependent on getting cheap money in order to fund their businesses. And if you have rising interest rates, it's going to be harder, it's going to be more expensive to get that money. And you may get a lot of venture capitalists who will not feel they may be a little more risk adverse before pouring money into startups. So I just shift some money away from startups. And then obviously, finally, I would just say if you're looking for something to buy, Bitcoin looks like right now it hit its last high of around 61,000 about a week ago. Um, and according to a lot of projections, like the stock to flow model, Bitcoin looks like it's probably going to hit $100,000 before the end of the year. And I definitely believe that that's going to happen. That's the low end. I mean, that's my target is 100,000 by year end, but I've been hearing 288,000 as almost the median target and hearing 400,000. What I think is going to happen is I think Bitcoin is going to rise up above 100,000, maybe go up to 150 or 175 and have that sort of parabolic move up. But by the end of the year, it'll move back down to 100,000. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm just accumulating Bitcoin here and there. It's just a long-term hold. There's, definitely something I think in the long term is going to be worth much, much more because there's only 18 million Bitcoin in circulation. About, I think they say 11 million in cold storage. You have probably about 4 million is lost. So there's only really 3 million Bitcoin that are like kind of available to buy. So when you think of all the demand, I mean, there are 28 million millionaires on the planet and only 3 million Bitcoins that you can buy. You could just imagine how high the price can go. So once again, I'm just going to recap what the indexes are doing in the pre-market. Looks like the S&P is a little flat right now. The Nasdaq doing really well now, up 0.79 of 1%, and you have the Russell 2000 up a little over 0.5%. So we look like we're green. We're good. Looks like we may get a recovery today. I think we just had, a one-day swoon. Not even a one-day swoon. It's more like a 2-hour swoon because of that bill. Because you look here, it really started around 2 p.m. So it's like a 2-hour, swoon here. But I think it's a good big, some good dip buying opportunities here. We do have a lot of good stocks near its 52-week high. So I do think the market's going to move higher. Today, I do foresee some choppiness for the next couple of weeks, but I think in April we'll get past that choppiness and we should have a nice rally in April. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications. I do multiple daily updates on stocks, stock trading strategies, and market updates. Thanks a lot. Bye.